Good morning. How are you all today? Excellent. It's good to see some new faces here and some returning folks. So today we're going to talk a little bit about college costs, and actually the presentation portion of this is going to be pretty short this time around because we're going to move into the computer lab and do some actual hands-on research about the different colleges you want to attend, how much they cost, how to apply to them, and things like that. So we're going to kind of move through some of this stuff pretty quickly. We've been over this a couple of times, so this should seem pretty familiar to you. There are different costs to consider when you're attending college. It's not just the tuition that you pay, although that is a significant portion of the money that you pay to go to college. But you have to consider the cost of housing as well. If you're going to live on campus or off campus or at home with your parents, each of those may have a different cost associated with them. There's also books that you need to consider. Right now you get your books provided by the school. However, when you go to college, you have to buy those books or rent them. And that is going to have some finances dedicated to that over time. There's also transportation to consider. If you're living off campus or you're living at home, or maybe you have a job off campus but you're living on campus, you're going to need to drive or ride a bike or take a bus to get to that job or to your off-campus home. So you'll want to make sure that you're including that in your college budget. There's also some kind of miscellaneous living expenses, right? Some things that you need to buy maybe pretty frequently or fairly often, like shampoo and conditioner and clothes and things like that, that kind of support you in going to college, right? Things that you need to live on. If you remember from our last presentation, the price of college is going to increase over time, right? So every year college tuition goes up, maybe the price of housing goes up and things like that. And so when you're projecting, you need to make sure that you're taking into consideration how much college is going to increase by the time you actually attend it. So right now I'd like you to take out your worksheets that you picked up at the front table. The first one that I want you to look at is Designing Your Dream College. It's a two-sided worksheet, and so the first one, this first side has a bunch of sentences with numbers on it. And so what I want you to do is kind of take some time to fill that out and think about what kind of college you want to look for. To kind of think about what your career goals are, what your major might need to be for that, maybe what type of college you need to attend. And just so that we can kind of reintroduce ourselves to folks, just go around the room and say your name and maybe what you want to study once you're in college. Excellent. Some fantastic college plans in the room today. So for those of you that are going to be going into medical fields, especially if you're going to be a doctor and maybe some dental schools, you're going to require a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. Some of you that are going into like hospitality and management, depending on the program that you enter into, sometimes you'll only need to go to get an associate's degree. Sometimes you'll get a bachelor's degree. So your different levels of schooling are going to require different schools, different lengths of time, and different financial commitments as well, right, depending on the type of school that you go to. So the next thing that you want to consider is kind of applying to college, right? So did you know that when you're applying for college, it also sometimes will cost money depending on the school, but there are kind of some tricks of the trade to get around those costs. Your other worksheet that you have, there's one side that says applying for college. And if you take a look at that, you have some things to consider. So on the worksheet, it talks about whether or not they have an application online or whether it's a paper application, if there's an application fee, if they need high school transcripts, and what kind of information they need from you to apply. So some of those things are going to cost money. Usually it's not going to cost anything to send in your transcripts or things like that. But sometimes it's going to cost money to apply to the college. It's called an application fee. And most colleges will have an application fee, and it really is set however much they want. So some could be $25, some are $60, some are $75, some are $150. It depends on the school. When you're looking at colleges and they're requiring these fees of you, You can sometimes get that fee waived if you attend an open house, and they will waive an admission fee for you, where you can drop off a paper application or you can apply online right at their open house, and they'll waive that fee. So those are some good ways to save money. The when you apply for college as well can also be different amounts of money and things like that. Sometimes early decisions cost less money to apply for. Sometimes they will waive it altogether if you're applying for early decision, which means that you apply earlier in your senior year of high school and you're looking for a decision right away, so usually before December. You want to know when you're applying for college what they charge you for. So you want to know if they charge an application fee, what that fee is and things like that. You also want to know where to apply. Can you apply online? Do you have to fill out a paper application? Do you have to attend one of their events to get that fee waived, like I mentioned before? And you want to know definitely how much it is for their application fee, if they have one. Some schools don't have one. And then, of course, there's the funding for college. So the other side of that worksheet is how to pay for college. And so we give you some financial tips on that and things like that, and we give you kind of an example of Oakland University and what their different costs are. So today you're going to kind of be completing this worksheet for your different colleges that you might be interested in attending. Remember, you want to find a college that actually has the major that you're interested in studying. That's definitely a positive thing. And then you're going to be looking at how much their tuition costs are and things like that. So we'll be going on and looking at different colleges' websites. They're going to be your colleges of choice. And you're going to go to their website and you're going to look for their net price calculator, and you're going to look on their admissions website. The admissions website will give you the information about applying to college, so the things that you need. And then the pay for college part will be the information that you get from the net price calculator.